Ukraine's operation to dislodge Russian oil refineries has had an effect. The Russian occupation army has begun to experience a fuel shortage. This was confirmed by the Russian Z resource, Northern Channel, which is associated with the Russian Armed Forces. The aftermath of the strikes on the oil refinery has reached the front. It was obvious that they needed to stock up on gasoline, but not the strategists at headquarters, the Channel wrote. He clarified that the 68th Division of the Russian Armed Forces has been without gasoline for a couple of weeks now. Highly skilled occupiers, unable to carry out their missions due to the lack of fuel, are being transferred to assault aircraft and sent to their deaths. Before our very eyes, our most valuable specialists, communicators, aerial reconnaissance, FPV operators, everyone who works with equipment are being turned into infantry. Their generators are dead. There's no communication. The drones aren't flying. And these specialists, considered a useful assault resource, are now being herded alongside military personnel straight into a Ukrainian drone shooting range without cover or support. Severny Kanal wrote, "It's worth noting that over the past 6 months, the Ukrainian Defense Forces have been actively striking oil refineries in European Russia. More than 20 facilities have been hit, many of which were attacked more than once. This operation has disrupted the Russian fuel market, with some regions and occupied territories facing gasoline shortages." Recall Ukrainian Armed Forces attacks on oil refineries in Russia have reached a record in range and frequency. 2025 marked a record year for attacks on Russian oil infrastructure, which is already impacting refining volumes and the gasoline market. According to Verstka's calculations, attacks on oil refineries and oil depots have already surpassed the figures for the entire previous year and have affected enterprises deep within the Russian Federation, including Siberia, while last year's most distant target was the Salavat Oil Refinery in Bashkortostan, approximately 1,300 kilometers from the Ukrainian border. Attacks against it are now becoming more common. This year, the Salavat Refinery has already been hit twice, on September the 18th and 24th. The strikes also affected other facilities in the region. The Bashneft Oil Refinery, located even further away, approximately 1,350 kilometers from the border, was attacked 3 times, on March the 3rd, September the 13th, and October the 11th. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky stated at the end of October that Ukrainian airstrikes had reduced Russian oil refining capacity by approximately 20%. This estimate is partially confirmed by data from Russian sources. According to RBC, at the end of September, approximately 38% of primary processing capacity was idle. The consequences are reflected in the domestic market. From August to October, gasoline shortages were recorded in more than 50 regions of the Russian Federation, with drivers complaining of price hikes at gas stations and local shortages.
Ukrainian forces launched new sea and air drone attacks on Russian targets on the night leading to Monday, focusing on a major Black Sea oil terminal in Tuapse Krasnodar region. The operation followed a similar strike about 10 days earlier that caused significant damage. Unconfirmed reports suggest Ukraine may also have fired its new Flamingo long-range cruise missile at the port, an important hub for Russia's oil exports. According to local sources, explosions and fires were seen in Tuapse shortly after 1 a.m. Monday. Videos posted online show blasts near the central port area. The terminal, capable of processing around 17 million metric tons of oil products annually, is Russia's second-largest Black Sea export facility. Previous Ukrainian strikes on the port in September and early November damaged tankers, disrupted refinery operations, and caused an oil spill. Russian officials later claimed that 4 Ukrainian unmanned boats were intercepted and that there was no serious damage or casualties, though they admitted a nearby home and garage were affected by an explosion. Local social media reports, however, contradicted this, suggesting that a tanker at the pier was struck. Geolocation experts identified one explosion near Tuapse Wharf 167, commonly used for crude oil loading. Security footage showed a large blast and subsequent fire, and some Ukrainian sources claimed a tanker had been destroyed, though this could not be confirmed. Russia's national railway operator extended a ban on rail deliveries to the port, due to logistical problems. Ukrainian sources reported that the attacking Magura Sea drones, developed domestically and capable of speeds exceeding 40 km per hour, were launched from the Odessa region and traveled about 900 kilometers through international waters to reach the target. These drones can double their speed during final approach, making them difficult to intercept. Alongside the sea assault, Ukrainian drones attacked infrastructure in Rostov, on the Sea of Azov. Russia claimed all incoming drones were shot down without damage, but local residents reported explosions near railway facilities. Ukrainian officials later stated that the Lykovskaya switching station had been hit. Russia's defense ministry said more than 50 Ukrainian drones were detected across southern and western regions, leading to temporary flight suspensions at multiple airports. These attacks are part of Ukraine's ongoing campaign, launched in July, to undermine Russia's oil industry and retaliate for Russian strikes on Ukrainian cities.